Nation states are coming. I'm going to give you an insight today as to why nation states are starting to adopt Bitcoin and why you can't wait to see which nation is next. All right, let's go back to the year 21, where El Salvador announced that they're going to make Bitcoin legal tender. What does that mean? Essentially, it means that next to the US dollar, which is still the main currency of the country, you are also able to use Bitcoin as a means of payment or actually hold it in your treasury, whether you're an individual or a business. Next to this, their president, Nayib Bukele, has also announced that they're going to buy 1 Bitcoin each day to use it as a strategic reserve asset. Meaning, instead of holding on to gold or commodities, they actually use Bitcoin as a reserve asset and therefore strengthen the country. Why is that important? Bitcoin has an appreciation of 45% on average year by year, if you measure it in the last 10 years, and therefore it's an immense increase in value and production you can take out as a country. Meaning, if you've so far been a country that has a lot of debt, say you have loans with the IMF or other banks or other institutions, it was very hard to pay back those loans unless you take a new loan to buy back the old loan. With Bitcoin and that appreciation, your country immediately increases in value, it gets a higher rating, and from there on out, you can actually start paying back debt by the output your country now produces, as we've seen in El Salvador with the increase in tourism and the increase in economical power. However, that's not the only way of how a country can actually adopt Bitcoin. We've seen it in Bhutan, where they do actually mine Bitcoin, and we even see approaches now in Suriname, where we have a candidate who's eager to actually put Bitcoin on the balance sheet and actually not only use it as a legal tender, but as the unit of account. Meaning, if you would go to Suriname, which is close to Brazil, by the way, you would actually be able to live, breathe, and spend your Bitcoin however you might please. This increase in nation state has also caught the eye of a couple of big-time names. For example, in the US presidential elections, we did hear a lot that there might be a potential Bitcoin strategic reserve law that would be implemented, saying that it would take Bitcoin as a reserve asset and build its economy based on that. And whichever central bank is the first central bank to realize, hey, instead of just printing fiat money and therefore increasing the potential for high inflation, we could actually use that money, buy Bitcoin, put it on the balance sheet, and treat it as the same asset as they did with gold. So essentially backing your currency next to Bitcoin. So there's two playbooks. You either use it as a reserve asset, which we've seen with the likes of MicroStrategy. I made a video about this, check it out below, that it works fantastically. Or you have the other component where you actually use Bitcoin as a means of payment, as the unit of account, and therefore a new currency. Which countries are most likely to adapt this strategy? Currently, as recording this video, more likely it's countries that are either in bad economic shape and through Bitcoin find another way of expanding, or countries such as Bhutan who have vast resources with energy. The real game changer, as I mentioned, would be if countries like the US or even countries with big sovereign wealth funds in the Middle East start transacting in Bitcoin rather than maybe the petrodollar or other currencies. The more these theories play out, the more game theory comes into play where Bitcoin is inevitable. So who do you think is going to be the next country? Let us know in the comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.